Bungie is in a race to the bottom just by the nature of the game that they're making in Marathon. If you don't know Bungie, they're just folks who've been making the same PvE game for 11 years. Destiny already had a lot of formulaic and repetitive expansions, so they decided to make a new one called Marathon. Since Destiny 3 was scrapped in favor of a fresh start, allegedly, this is the closest thing you're going to get.
Got it.
I've been playing in the most recent server slam, and in all honesty, it's an okay game. Okay out of Bungie is kind of a disappointment since they have been existing since before I was born. Recently, Bungie was acquired by PlayStation Studios, which recently been trying to give us hot, trash live service games for a while now. It falls in line with retention economy, which is the business of keeping players as long as possible inside your ecosystem so you can squeeze the money out of them like an orange or a lemon. Bungie always made kick-ass games. I remember going to my friend's house and playing their games for hours on end, but they always been kind of a mess management wise. It's like a bunch of talent there, and then the guy at the top just decides to be like, well, let's just screw it all up. Take it from me, I've been acquainted with the dark arts of procrastination, and when you are tasked with something due at the end of the week, you usually slap something together and hope it goes. That's basically how every Destiny expansion has been for a while now. Copy, paste, and hope the old fans stick around. And I'm sensing a pattern that PlayStation Studios or Bungie are going to use Marathon to continue their tradition of trying to squeeze their existing customers out of every single penny that they have. Lucky for Bungie, they have a clear advantage is that their gunplay has always been simply phenomenal in their games. And their fans are most loyal to the gameplay, not necessarily the other stuff that they're going to try to tack on to Marathon here. The other stuff being the only reason games want an attention economy is to charge you with microtransactions all the time. Because you can't stay for free. It's like an apartment building. You gotta pay your rent, and your rent is those skins, and you looking a little bit cooler than everybody else. Now, usually games like this are free to play, but game developers really want you to pay the initial $40, $60, $80, $10 in mobile phone games because there is a slim chance, very slim chance, guys. They want you to know it's a slim chance that the game might suck and they get to keep the money. Now, this buy-in is usually disguised as a founder's pack that gives you a little bit more extra rewards, or straight up they just sell the game separately each and every year, like Call of Duty or 2K. Now, Marathon in this case is a new IP made by some familiar folk. It's not Destiny 3, so I don't think this is gonna work because they just tried this tactic with Destiny 2 and eventually had to make it free to play. Now, a detailed observer would notice that the game is $40 American. That's usually a compromise in between these type of freeware games because, yeah, they get the initial buy-in, but it's not the full $150 some games are asking for. So to transition, now over Destiny 2's long life cycle, it has had many of controversy, like aggressive microtransactions and the removal of paid content. Even with Marathon itself, a game that's not even released yet, there was a clear accusation of plagiarism that was proven true and resolved by the company back in December of last year. To be entirely fair to most American-based companies, you are under more scrutiny than more foreign companies just by the nature of the press here and how powerful it is to have the first story on something. Still, it is quite ridiculous that a company worth billions of dollars needs to plagiarize from anybody without properly compensating them for their work. Stories like this make it to the regular gamers who enjoy their games. For a split second, it makes you think that this game studio isn't ran entirely tightly, and the next game might not be as fantastic as you want it to be. Now, be honest, that's not how most regular gamers think. In all honesty, Marathon is a fresh start. Nobody really knows the name Bungie. They just know Halo and Destiny. So this is their chance to establish this IP as the one without the constraints of PvE to hold them down, with the content having to be updated constantly over and over again to really establish that this game is better than the ones they made in the past 10 years. Best case scenario, Marathon is not a company piece for Destiny. It is a new beginning, because luckily for Bungie, a new beginning starts with a new name. But unfortunately, if you are the same person or the same company underneath, I think we're gonna get the exact same problems.